Everything that costs is worthy of sacrifice, and not everything that costs returns a higher value outcome. As I started to think about trauma and what it cost, I recognized that it cost everything. And trauma teaches that it costs to be perfect, it costs to be enough. In particular, in being Pacific, it's saying that it costs to be enough. And so we become anxious and depressed and afraid because of what trauma teaches that it costs us to be something that we're hoping to be. And when this trauma system is operating here, because it's a traumatic system that's operating in this teaching of it costs to be enough. When this is operating, there is a system, there's thoughts wrapped around this system that is creating a method of your thoughts are shaping your actions. So instead of being able to create a different outcome, it's hard to, because with these teachings, they're creating thoughts that create and produce actions. So these thoughts are shaping your actions with these teachings. And so I was thinking about what has been the best way that I've learned to operate outside of traumatic systems. What has been the best way that I've learned to operate outside of trauma, to where I'm not just surviving, but I'm not surviving, but I'm thriving, because that is my goal. And all that I do is to thrive, and to thrive boldly and unapologetically, because that's the way that God's created me to thrive. And so as I was thinking about this, I reversed the flip of the script that trauma teaches, so I could see the other side of things if I wasn't operating in the system. And on the other side, instead of letting your thoughts shape your actions, what if your actions started to shape your thoughts? Because it's a lot easier to rewire the brain through actions first than it is through thoughts first. And so actions are something that are going to help produce movement in your mind. It's going to help produce movement through what you hear, through the conversations that you have, the things that you see. And so you actually have more control over what you do than what you are thinking when you have been through a lot of traumatic things. And so in order to reshape those thoughts, instead of starting with the thought itself and trying to reshape the thought, start with the action part first, so that your actions can reshape your thoughts, so that you can rewire your brain, so that you're no longer moving in the teachings of trauma, of the past experiences, and taking the past experiences into the present and into the future, but creating a different outcome in the present and the future, because you're no longer taking the teachings of the past and living that as an experience over and over again here in the present and moving towards your future. So why do I bring this up? I bring this up because trauma costs a lot. And so if you are wanting to get out of the structure of trauma and connecting your worth to an outcome, connecting your worth to these thoughts and these teachings that teach us that we have to do this to be enough, that we have to give ourselves away, we have to give our value away in order to be good enough. And it goes back to that codependency, that in order for me to be enough, I need to fulfill the need of someone else. To get out of that codependency of what the trauma teaches, this is how you do it. Take action first. Take action first, because it will shape your mind in a way that you have not experienced before. So you may ask, Destiny, well, what actions do I need to take to start reshaping my mind? The actions that you could take are praying, reading your word, listening to a podcast, studying the person that you actually that inspires you most, that motivates you most in this season of your life. Studying the way that they think, understanding the way that they think, and giving yourself an example of a structure that thinks differently than what you currently think. Because I think sometimes we get wrapped up in this structure of the way that we think is the only way to think, and that's not true at all. The way that we think, if it's not working for us, if the way you're thinking isn't working for you, then more than likely it's not working because there's little movement. So if you have a lot of movement, if you have less thinking and more moving, and you just focus on moving, and that movement, you will find a productive type of thinking. But if you're thinking, just thinking and thinking and thinking, and you're spending a lot of time thinking, then it's going to be hard to produce movement, because you can almost talk yourself out of that movement. Things can get really dark. They can get really depressing, depending on what you've been through and how your thoughts usually work. Because thoughts have a way of repeating themselves, and over time the language may become more developed along the way, because you grow in age, you grow in experience, but the language may overall stay the same. The theme may stay the same. The anxiousness, the depression, and things like that, that would be the theme of how you feel when you think about these things. So to change that language up, to change the outcome, you want to focus more on allowing your actions to shape your thoughts for the next 6 weeks. The next 6 weeks to the next 6 months, and test this out. I promise you that if you just try this for a month or for a day, you're going to see a lot of momentum be built up in your life, because it's something that you've probably never done before, especially if you're a really deep thinker. But now it's time to rewire some of those thoughts that keep you from moving, and allowing the movement to rewire your mind and reshape your mind. So really, it's really important to take into consideration that not every action is going to produce a fruitful reshaping in the mind. So really think about, what is it that I need to do to have the outcome of blank of this right in my mind? What is the outcome that you want to have in your mind? What do you want to produce in your mind? And based upon what you want to produce, you want to create an action that's going to help you produce that. Now, if you're needing support, if you're needing help in accomplishing this, or having that structure, that diagram of, and that idea of what action should I start with based upon what challenge I'm going through, so that I can reshape my mind and achieve the outcome that I'm hoping to achieve, then book a consultation call with me so we can get started on this healing area of reshaping your mind. I'm cheering for you. I hope you have a blessed day. Until next time, guys, remain putting your hope in God, and have a blessed day.